First, you have to go and look all the interview before judging. I think she's saying that I should have watched the entire interview that President Kagame gave before commenting on it. And I agree, okay? People have to watch the entire video before making their own opinion. But I, for one, I watched it. And quite frankly, I do not blame anybody who decides not to watch it. Because these types of interviews or press conferences, they are boring, okay? They are boring to anybody that wants to educate themselves on this type of topic. They are boring because they are not actual interviews. They are not actual press conferences. Even the questions that were asked in this press conference, they were very superficial. It was very hard for me to see any legitimate question that was asked in this interview to be like, oh wow, this was a good press conference. The first part of it, I have to comment on it because the first part of it was basically this guy who I believe is the head of the online Kagame bot organization, okay? I have to say, this is my belief, okay? He may not be. I've seen a few of his stuff. I mean, if you see his page on Twitter, it's all propaganda, like propaganda. So someone like this cannot ask a legitimate question that I would be like, okay, this was anything deep. The first part of this press conference was basically this guy asking some very superficial questions about African leadership and then the Great Lakes region. Then they went on together to do some Europe bashing together, and then they commented on good and bad coups. Like, what are we here for? Like, here is an example of one of the questions that this guy asked President Kagame, okay?
So sometimes also it reminds me of 10 years ago, or 2012, 2013, what is this thing about Goma? Because as soon as M23 took in 2012 Goma, the whole world went cuckoo. And now again, everybody wants to have access to Goma.
What is so special about Goma? What is in Goma that everybody cares when it... That's what you guys want me to be watching? Those are the kinds of sessions that you watch, and after it, if you're really someone that is a bit stimulated by educated stuff, you feel dumb. You feel dumb after watching a long session like that. If you're someone out there and you haven't watched that press conference, honestly, as someone who has watched it, I do not recommend. There's nothing new that you will learn from it. The only journalist that I feel like asked anything remotely substantial was the guy that asked the question about the FDLR. He wanted to know the numbers. What is the number of this FDLR, and at what point will you say that the problem of the FDLR has been solved? And as expected, President Kagame did not have an answer. He believes that there are FDLR that constitute a security threat for Rwanda, but he does not know how many FDLRs are there. Okay, he went, in the end, he didn't give any response.